Welcome back to another episode of Maybe This Helps. On today's episode, I sit down with a really good mate of mine, Rich Lowier, aka Bud. Rich has been on one hell of a journey. Life was going, I'll be honest, exceptionally well for him. He had a beautiful new wife, a baby on the way, amazing new job, forever home, and then he received a phone call that, honestly, no one was ever expecting.
I answered it and they just said, in a nutshell, they went, you're a medical emergency. You need to come into hospital.
In this conversation, Rich talks me through exactly what that was like. The fear, the anxiety, the treatment, and the need to survive to meet his beautiful baby boy, Theodore.
So I'll be completely honest with you. If it wasn't for the fact that Leanne was pregnant, I think I would have given up.
This conversation was, in a lot of ways, a privilege for me to be able to have. Rich is someone that I consider more than a friend. He's more like a brother. As much as it was really good for me to be able to sit down and have this conversation with Rich, it honestly was at times even hard for me because I know how hard this was for not just Rich, but for Leanne and his whole family. I spoke to Rich almost every day when he was going through his treatment, and I wish at the time that I could have helped him more, but his strength and his will to carry on, push him through and keep fighting, honestly, in the moment taught me a lot. And I'm so glad that I've just been able to have this honest conversation with Rich. I'm continuing to learn from him, from his mindset, the way he holds himself together, and yeah, I think this is a really valuable conversation. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, even if you're not going through anything, I think this conversation is powerful. I think hearing what Rich has been through can really change the way that you just look at life. Rich has been quite literally knocking on death's door, and he's back to just enjoying life, spending time with his son, his wife, and making memories that are going to last forever. I really hope you enjoy this episode. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Let's just get into it. This is Rich Lowier on Maybe This Helps. Sound, you ready?
I'm ready.
Sweet, let's get into it. Thanks for doing it, mate. I appreciate it.
No problem, sir.
Sort of, why did you want to do it? Like, why did you agree to do it? I know you spoke like a few little things before, but what does it do for you?
So what I found was the biggest helper for me through it all was actually talking about it.
Yeah, same.
I suppose a lot of people shy away from such a terrible thing. And it's hard because like my coping mechanism was to talk to people about it, and everybody would always apologize for asking questions.
Yeah.
And it never bothered me. It was a big help.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think, like, you know, whatever you've been through, things like anything like what you've been through, naturally, obviously, doesn't get taught to you, right? Because not everyone goes through it, and it's so different for every single person that goes through something. Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, the only way people are able to have any idea of how to cope or how to deal with anything like that is ultimately through people like yourself, you know, willing to share their story, basically. So, yeah, I appreciate it, mate. I think it will help a lot of people. And obviously, you know, I've done a few of these now and spoke to a few different people with different experiences, and same sort of thing, mate. Like, they either were going through it and they listened. The dog's got a turtle. They listened to like other people telling their story, and it really helped them at the time. Or like you said, it helped them sort of after the fact. If anybody's watching this, I'm very sorry. This is my dog Gordon playing with a sand turtle. But yeah, we've just had a nice barbecue as well.
We have,
it was a nice afternoon,
I'm a bit full now.
Yeah, I am very full. But yeah, it's been a good day. But anyway, let's just get into it then. So, where do you want to start? Do you want to sort of start at the very top and we'll sort of try and go through it and timeline it a little bit for people to give a bit of context?
Yeah, sure. So I reckon if we go all the way back to 2022, so let's go back to July 2022. Everything was coming together really for me. So Leanne and I had just bought this house. It was our forever home. I just started a new career as well, which is a forever career. And yeah, everything was going well. So that was the July. We also had my stag do,
We did, mate,
which
yeah.
you were a big part of. That was great, pure chaos.
I'm never going back to Albufeira.
Yeah,
ever again.
I know. I wouldn't. Well, I would go back, but probably as a family holiday.
Yeah.
And
Definitely not the same villa though.
No. But yeah, so everything was going well. Everything was coming together. And then September, Leanne and I got married, which was great. We then went on our honeymoon, end of September into October. Again, everything's going well. Everything's coming together. So naturally, I suppose, in what you're taught in the way of progression, the next step was to have a baby. So moving on into 2023, February, Leanne and I obviously knew before everybody else that she was pregnant, which was great. It's like the best news in the world. So everything was fine. Everything was really good. And then as we're going into April, I started to feel unwell. And when I say unwell, I didn't have a cold. I didn't have like a typical unwell. Well, I was just exhausted all the time. Didn't think anything of it really. I just thought it was stress with the new job.
And the house and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we were doing a lot. You were again part of it. So it was a Saturday night in it was the end of April. We were playing Slough as in a friendly, and I was really struggling to breathe. And again, I just thought, wow, actually, to be honest, the night before we were at a party and I drank too much, so I thought maybe it was a hangover.
Yeah,
and
standard.
Yeah, and you know, in the films, like you get the black mist. It was quite literally like that. I was gasping for air. So got off the ice, went home. Next day, was doing something so simple as just taking laundry up and down the stairs. This black mist came in again. So I thought, right, let's book a doctor's appointment. So the doctor's appointment was booked, and this takes us into May now. And on May the 1st, we announced to all of our friends and family that Leanne was pregnant.
Yeah.
So, of course, messages are flooding in. It's a great time. You're looking forward to it. So that was May the 1st. And then on May the 4th, I went to the doctor's. I had my doctor's appointment. They were brilliant. They did a routine check. He said, look, you seem all right. We're just going to give you a blood test. I was like, okay, no problem. So I had my blood taken. And I remember it crystal clear, 11:40 on May the 4th in the morning. And this is when it now starts to go downhill. 8 hours later, so it was bang on 8 p.m. I was having a bedtime bath, you could call it. And I was in the bath, and I had this unknown caller call me. I thought, well, it's obviously something to do with the doctors.
Yeah.
I answered it, and they said,
Did you actually think that? Or did you think it was... Because like me at 8 o'clock, I'd have just pied it off, to be perfectly honest.
No. So normally I would have, but because I went to the
Yeah,
doctors, I thought, right, it's got to be to do with the doctors. And yeah, I answered it, and they just said, in a nutshell, they went, you're a medical emergency. You need to come into hospital. And I was like, well, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like, I'll come in tomorrow. And it was point blank, no, you need to come in today. And that's when I then started to worry, because I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but the people that phone you on the phone can't tell you what's wrong.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't know if they're not qualified or whatever it is. So at this point, he said, right, bring a backpack for 3 days stay in hospital. I was like, okay, no problem. Got down to the hospital at 10 o'clock at night, well, just after 10. Leanne dropped me off, and that is where it really started.
The shit.
Yeah.
Quite literally hits the fan.
Yeah, literally. So I remember just being in this hospital room. Bear in mind, they've not told me anything yet. They've put an IV drip into me, and they're hydrating me. And they said, oh, you need to wait for the on-call consultant. I was like, okay, no worries. And they're like, do you want a cup of tea? I thought, oh, it can't be that serious.
Yeah.
And then it was about midnight when this on-call consultant came to me. And that's when he delivered the news that I had leukemia, which was a big kick in the nuts.
Can you remember what you initially thought? Or is it just a bit of a blur? Or?
No. I'll be completely honest. I didn't really understand what leukemia was.
Yeah, fair.
Because you hear about cancer,
Yeah.
right? And to me, sorry, not everybody, I assume cancer is lumps and bumps.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got this thing growing inside of you, they give you treatment, they cut it out, and then you're kind of on the other side. But
yeah,
when he told me I had leukemia, I was like, what?
Would you say it's fair to say as well that most of the people that you knew that had probably had cancer, whether relatives or people close to you, were sort of older? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, so...
Because I think that's a bit of like... I think when people sort of younger, like your age or whatever, or even younger again, from my perception of it is, I think that's what's hard for people to understand, because it's like, oh, like, well, my nan had cancer, or like,
yeah,
you know, my granddad or whatever. And then I think it's almost like it doesn't register hearing it in like that a younger person's got it.
Yeah, definitely. You're exactly right, because of course, at the time I was a bit taken back, but like immediately I went into fight mode.
Yeah.
And the questions were, what are we going to do? And the consultant was brilliant. He was like, look, we need to do further tests to find out what it is, because there's so many different types of leukemia. I was like, right, okay. So you can probably imagine no sleep on that first night. And Leanne's pregnant. I phoned Leanne. She was at home to deliver the news. And I was like, look, there's no plan of action at the moment. I'll see you tomorrow, sort of thing. But then immediately they started me on chemotherapy, but orally.
Yeah.
Whilst we waited to find out really what.
And I guess that was just like, because of the severity of it, something right now is better than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way you measure it is they measure the cells in your blood. And so my diagnosis was Philadelphia positive AML and ALL. So what that meant was, going back to like when I mentioned about the blacking out, there were so many white blood cells in my system that my red blood cells couldn't get round. So my body wasn't getting the oxygen.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just thought, let's just get. I can only speak really what I think. Like, let's get something going.
Yeah. So then, well, a couple of things on that. I think when you said like, obviously your initial reaction was like, what we're going to do about it. I guess I can smile now, but I think that's just your character, like you're a problem solver. So it's just like, you know, like, again, I guess it plays very well into your hand. Like you sort of do that for a job, really. Like you're a problem solver, you like project manage and stuff. But yeah, that's funny to me how you just said like you didn't really have any clue what it meant. You didn't know what was going on. Just straight away, you're just like, all right, well, let's fix it then.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing, mate. Like I think, you know, because it could be so easy for people in that situation to just be like, almost dive straight into like denial or like glass half empty, whereas you were, I guess, in some ways glass half full. Like, all right, we can fix this. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
And that probably, I don't know. I don't want to speak for you, but do you reckon that attitude and that mind frame sort of helped you early on?
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%. Yeah.
Class.
Like during my time there, I spent lots of time in hospital and shared rooms with other patients, and they were so negative.
Yeah, I can remember you saying that.
So negative.
One guy early on was
like
really grinding
just
on
giving
your
up.
bit. Yeah,
just giving up. Like,
but I can kind of understand why. Like I've not been there, right? So I don't know. I can't say like, oh, that guy should have had a different outlook. I don't know. I don't know his circumstances, but yes, it was funny. I remember obviously talking to you, and you know, we spoke like pretty much every day, and like you were very much, I think upbeat's the wrong word, but like positive and like almost like willing to do whatever it took.
Yep.
And then like you said, you know, you were sharing rooms with people that were almost the polar opposite, just like, oh, not today. I don't want to do it today.
No.
Yeah, it's inspiring, mate. I don't know if there's anything I've ever said to you, but when obviously you were dealing with that the way that you were able to have such a positive outlook actually helped like me at the time, like with my own shit. So yeah, I guess thank you for that, mate, because it would have been very easy for me to get wrapped up in my own stuff. But then I was like, well, how can I when Bud's there, like, you know, on his own in hospital, and he's still like chipper, like, or as chipper as he can be. So yeah, mate, it's inspiring, and yeah, it helped change my outlook on things from my own circumstances. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, then what? Then where did we sort of go?
So it was then literally from May the 5th, so not even 12 hours in hospital, it was all guns blazing. It was doctors, more doctors, consultants, needles, all sorts of things go on. And it was mainly obviously to treat me, but it was to find out the full diagnosis. And then that's how they worked out my treatment regime. So I started my first round of chemo within the month of May. And
how many rounds did you have overall?
So I had 2 cancer killing chemos. Oh wow, cell killing chemos. And then I had another just before my stem cell transplant. So my first round was, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was like let's call it like a maintenance chemo. It's to get it into your body, see how your body reacts, see how the cells react. And it did a good job. It brought down, and this is the thing, right? If for anybody that doesn't know, chemo doesn't discriminate. So it will take healthy cells, it will take bad cells. And it did a good job at reducing my white blood cells, which is great.
Yeah.
But what it didn't do, it didn't bring my levels down low enough to then go on to the final stage, which is the stem cell transplant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first one. Again, more tests to see how it's reacted. But then they decided I needed another round called FLAG-IDA. I remember the name of this one because it was brutal. It was, I can't remember how many doses. It might have been 16 or 17 doses of chemo.
When you say brutal, what was different about it in comparison to the first set? Just like the symptoms of it, or?
Well, so all chemo comes with symptoms, right? It's quite, if you read all of the symptoms, you wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So when I say brutal, I mean the intensity.
Right, okay.
So the first one, and again, there might be a medical professional listening to this, right, that says, oh no, we don't give it to everybody. But in my eyes, my opinion, they would give that first round, I think it's called like UCAS 14 or something. They give that to a lot of cancer patients. Whereas then the second round I had FLAG-IDA, there's a criteria.
Right.
So they put your body through a full MOT.
Yeah.
You have to be below a certain age. You have to be fit because it's brutal.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was my schedule. Like I said, I think it was 16 or 17 doses of chemo within 6 days. And that's
Sorry, what was that? 16 or 17?
16 or 17 doses of chemo in 6 days. So normally
like 3 a day or whatever.
Yeah, and they could sometimes spread them out. And obviously not each one is different, but you're having a variety. So yeah, that was intense.
What were the sort of symptoms for you? Do you mind saying?
No, not at all. So I actually consider myself very lucky in the symptoms aspect because it's going to reduce your cells. So what that means is your immune system is reduced. So you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
I did get quite a lot of fevers. They were vile. Ended up being like having pethidine because not the shakes, like when you have a fever and you feel so cold. Well, no, when you feel so cold, you can't stop. Right. So yeah, I was on that. But the only one I really remember was my knees swelled. And it was like I had burns on my knees. Excruciating. It was horrible. But other than getting the fevers, becoming poorly, that was really the only side effect I had. Like, I wasn't sick, as in vomiting. Yeah. I didn't have bad toilet trips. I didn't lose my appetite.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you were eating pretty well through most of this, right?
Don't get me wrong, they give you enough steroids. They do give you enough steroids. I did balloon. But yeah, I'll probably get corrected by Leanne, but that is the only one I really, really remember other than the fevers. But yeah, that was Flag Ida, and this is what dropped my immune system, my cells so low that I ended up in ITU.
Yeah. Is that when you were in like the isolation with the like space helmet?
That's it. Yeah. So, it
I mean,
was
space helmet's not the medical term,
no,
but you know what
space
I mean.
bowl.
Yeah,
Space
that's it,
bowl.
space bowl.
So I remember the date because it's our friend's little boy's birthday, but it was the end of July, very end of July, and I was on the ward at the time, went to bed as normal, and woke up early hours of the morning, and I couldn't breathe. And when I say I couldn't breathe, it felt like I was sucking air through a straw.
Yeah.
It was awful. So press the alarm on the bed, and nurse comes in, sticks the oxygen reader on your finger, and I can't remember now, but my oxygen level were really low.
Yeah.
So he's immediately put an oxygen mask on me, and within the blink of an eye, I was just surrounded by doctors and consultants. Portable X-ray machines come in, and I thought, fucking hell, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
And of course, these guys are the professionals, right? They're not panicking. I ain't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Not got a clue. And then this will probably make you laugh. So I've got all these doctors around me. They're putting all this kit on the bed. So they're moving me somewhere. I ain't got a fucking clue where they're taking me. And one of the doctors stuck this, I think it was yellow, but it said something like resuscitation bag. And I looked at the doctor and I went, "You expected me to die?" And she just went, no, it's just precautions. I thought, fuck it, like what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on?
And I bet you thought you lying.
Yeah. I thought all of a sudden we've gone from 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
But then they were like, "Oh, it might be a blood clot. It might be this. It might be that." I was like, right, okay. And all in my head, all I was thinking was like, I'm not going to get to my stem cell transplant.
Yeah.
And so whisked me off. Had a CAT scan. Was it a CAT scan? I can't remember exactly. And then they took me to ITU. And at this point, I think I'd started to not stabilize is the right word, I think, because I wasn't struggling to breathe as much. They hooked me up to this other machine which pumped warm air in. It was quite pleasant actually.
Yeah.
But they had started to put medication into me as well, so it made things easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now I'm on ITU. And again, I'm just surrounded by doctors. I'm like, can someone please just tell me what's going on? They're like, "Oh, we're checking you for a blood clot. We think it might be this." And I can't remember exactly what time it was, but the doctor then came in and said, "Look, it's not a blood clot. It's extreme pneumonia." I was like, right, okay. What can we do about that? And they were like, "Well, we're going to treat you for it." I was like, brilliant, okay. And then I went really downhill because my body was fighting extreme pneumonia. I then had sepsis, and then my memory goes. As you've referred to, the space bowl. So I couldn't breathe. I really couldn't breathe. So they put this bowl thing on my head. And
You got some pictures on Instagram.
I do. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to go check it out.
Yeah. So it pressurizes the air, and it forces oxygen down into your lungs. But obviously at this point, this is end of July, so Leanne's getting on with the pregnancy. So I'm thinking, well, at this point I've blacked out, so I can only go by what I've been told. But yeah, I was a right mess, real right mess.
Yeah. Let me just pause there and let me check the cameras all good. Yeah, same. I always get paranoid. So, after things sort of blacked out and stuff you, and obviously you're in the space bowl and they're treating you for the pneumonia, how sort of long was that period then? But so after that, was it then get you well enough for stem cell? Is that right? Or have I missed a bit out?
Yeah, not quite. So I got really, really poorly. So they even told, bless Leanne, they even told Leanne to say like her goodbyes.
Yeah, because I think that's, as I said to you before, I think that's when she rang me and I was driving my truck out of Bath and I literally just pulled over next to the speed camera on the big hill coming out of Bath, if anyone knows it. And I just abandoned the truck there.
Yeah.
And obviously she rang me. Like, it was really weird. It was, have you ever had like phone, maybe a bit like you when the doctors rang you? When you get like a phone call and ordinarily you'll be like, oh, like I'll answer it in a minute or I'll ring back or I'll ring her back in a minute. I don't know. It's just like a feeling. Like I knew I had to answer it. Like I don't know. It was really weird, man. It freaks me out thinking about it. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, so obviously Leanne got told to like sort of say her goodbyes and stuff, and then then what?
So I actually started to recover. So again, I don't remember any of this, so that was one of the evenings. But then I believe it was maybe the following day that I text Leanne in the morning. Again, I don't remember this, saying like, "Oh, how are you?" And it's where I had started to improve, but it's because they had pumped me with so much medicine, which was great. It saved my life. But unfortunately, like I hadn't forgotten how to walk, but my body had become so weak.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk. And Leanne's got a photo of me walking down the ITU like corridor, asses hanging out, nurse on one side with a bottle of oxygen, another physio on the other side. And so I had to learn how to walk. And then, I don't know, maybe a couple of days later, I got took back up to Ward 7. And that's when my memory comes back. And I can remember being in that.
So you don't sort of remember that in the hospital aisle?
No, I don't remember from basically them putting on that bowl thing. I don't remember anything.
How long was that, roughly, that period?
Oh, I think 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days.
Must have been horrible for Leanne, man.
Oh, I cannot imagine. Cannot imagine, mate.
Yeah, well, I've said it many times, but what a woman, man. What a woman.
Well, I think she went from cloud 9 to your husband's poorly, and then your husband's going to die. She's getting more and more heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think like that? Do you think my child's going to be a...
I guess maybe similar to you, mate. It was just like survival mode. Like, I don't know. Again, it's like we said at the start of this, mate. It's like, I think this is why talking about stuff like this is so important, because there is no rule book for this. There is no right or wrong. Nobody knows how to handle or process stuff like this.
They don't teach you it in school.
They definitely don't, mate. And I think, I don't know. I mean, the messages I've had from people from some of these episodes and stuff is like, it does help people. Like I had some really nice ones from last week's episode with Georgia, and like people that I didn't expect to reach out, mate. Like some people that you know, and they're like strong people, like people that like ordinarily you'd look at them and be like, oh, they can handle anything, sort of thing. So yeah, it's definitely needed, man. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, so you've texted Leanne, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
How was she sort of responding then? Was she obviously happy, but...
Yeah, so again, I can't remember, but apparently they came in to visit, Leanne and my mum came in to visit me. Yeah, it's difficult because I don't remember it. I just have to go on by what I've been told.
Yeah.
But like I said, pardon me, my next memory is when I'm back up on Ward 7, back with the A-team. And I just remember coming around and I'm in this room on my own. I was thinking, what the bloody hell's happened? Like, I've got a Zimmer frame, I'm in my bed. I'm thinking, what's happened? I had a catheter in as well. That was a weird.
Bet you like that, didn't you?
Well, because I came round, I was just like, what is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it all happened in that very short space of time. So yeah, going back to your question, like how long did it take to recover? It took a long time. So everything then became delayed. So my stem cell transplant was delayed because I got sent home. I had to recover. Of course, whilst being at home, I kept getting ill, so I was back in hospital. Then you go home again to try and recover. But just to throw a spanner in the works, I was still having chemo, and so part of my treatment plan was intrathecal, so into your spinal cord.
Yeah.
And I had a session, you can call it. Went back home, but I had a rotten headache, which they do give you headaches, but normally it goes away. It goes away about 3 or 4 days. But I had this really, really rotten headache, and I had a seizure. So that put me in another hospital. Again, lost 2 days memory, caused a further delay. And then it was, I think it was probably mid-August. Maybe mid-August. No, it must have been later than that, actually, because we had the charity hockey game.
Yeah, when was that? Sorry,
That was
all start of August, isn't it?
I think it was at the end of August.
Well, I don't know. When did I go on my honeymoon? That's
I
really
don't know,
bad. I'm going to get shouted at now.
Yeah. I think it was the end of August.
July, wasn't it? End of July.
It was the end of August, right? So it must have been the end of August. I started to feel better because
because you could go to.
I went to the charity game, which shout out to Snowy for organising that and everyone else. But I'm not calling you all out. So it must have been the end of August because I remember going to the charity game, and I was starting to feel stronger. So that meant. Between...
Just quickly, how was that? How did you find the charity game?
Oh, overwhelming.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Unbelievable. Look, you've played hockey longer than what I have, and you know far more people in the sport, but it's such a good community.
Oh, mate, yeah, of course.
Like, there were... Well, we did a very good job of filling that ice rink up for a charity game.
Yeah.
Like, non-league. There were some people that play in a good league in the game. But it was mainly my friends that were playing with for my team. And we filled that rink up.
Yeah.
You know, we raised 20 grand.
Yeah, it's unreal, mate.
And it was so overwhelming because like, I remember going out onto the ice to do the puck drop and just looking around and thinking like everybody here.
Yeah, like this many people were here to support me.
To support me. Like, but these people don't even know me.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was so good. So bloody good.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. And yeah, like you said, mate, fair play to Snowy and all the boys for sorting it out because, mate, like, as you know, like, just organising anything's hard work. Yeah. But anything like that big, it is like, you know, monumental. And then, and then on top of it, like, you're trying to raise money and then, like, order charity jerseys and kit and all that. It's class, mate. It's so good. Yeah, it's magic, mate. And, like, you think, like, that's, you know, something that you're always going to remember. But then, aside from that, like, every single person that went to that is probably going to remember that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, it's... I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but it's just so nice to see something so positive come out of...
Something so negative.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And, you know, there's lots of things that could have happened, but it's, like, positive for, like, all those people there. All those people felt connected in some way. I think that's magic, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. So anyway, we were saying you felt a little bit better and you could go to the charity game and experience that.
Yeah.
And then what were you saying? Sorry.
So that was that. Yeah, it must have been the end of August. So that's then when I started to feel better and I was recovering from it all. I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Recovering from all the
from
chemos.
The ITU, from the seizure,
and like the pneumonia and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because I was just too weak. If they had given me a stem cell, it would have killed me.
Yeah,
it would just there would have been no stem cell.
Because I think that's another thing that's sort of important to highlight. Like, obviously, with all of this, it's such a nightmare because they effectively have to make you so ill to kill the cancer, but then try and make you well enough before the cancer starts to come back, so that then they can give you the stem cell. It's like, it's such fine lines, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy. So again, I'm probably going to get probably get shouted at for saying the wrong bloody number, but my, let's call it cancer count when I was diagnosed.
Right.
I think it was in like the plus 90%.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me
Yeah,
initially.
no, I'm probably going to get that wrong. But in order to receive a stem cell transplant, you have to be below 1%.
Right, okay, yes, yeah.
Right, so they have to destroy everything in your body. Whilst, like you said, trying to keep you alive, because whilst they're doing that, your body has got nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
So something as simple as a cold will just
Wipe
fucking
you out.
write you off.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, imagine that going through all this and what kills you? A cold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's crazy. So yeah, I remember going off a little bit. I remember when and by no means am I hard and a man, but I didn't get upset through any. Well, I did, but through that beginning of the journey, I didn't get upset at all. I didn't,
you
didn't
were
cry.
so strong. When I spoke to you, you were so strong.
Yeah, and it was just because I was just like, I need to get better. And I remember sitting in the hospital downstairs in my consultant's room, and bear in mind the cancer's not gone, but she told me that the cancer is low enough for me to receive a stem cell transplant, and I just burst out crying.
Oh, mate.
I couldn't stop because in my head I was like, I'm going to get to see my son.
Yeah.
It wasn't guaranteed, but you hold on to little things.
Oh, and the odds have dramatically changed all of a sudden, aren't they?
Yeah, well, that's what you tell yourself.
Yeah,
that is what you tell yourself. Like, you've made it this far.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just burst out crying, mate. I couldn't stop, and it's quite funny. In a hospital, they have these little boxes of tissues, right? These tissues can't do anything, and I was like, I need the box. Give me the box. But that was such a I suppose a heartwarming moment.
100%, mate, yeah.
Because I knew I was going to get that chance.
I think like the psychology of like us as humans, we need little wins in like anything that we do, whatever, like anything that's really hard, you need that positive feedback at some point. And I guess that was like your first taste of like positive feedback.
Yeah,
right?
that was the first positive, yeah.
So like, yeah, and because what was this timeline? Sorry, so this is when, like September.
So August was the end of August was charity game. Then I was getting better and better. So I would have had a bone marrow around that time as well.
But so I'm thinking like, so how long has this whole process been? When
diagnosed in May.
Right, so from May to like September.
May to September was just
we're in the trenches basically.
We're in the trenches.
Yeah.
And then if we move on to the stem cell. So my stem cell transplant was October the 5th.
Yeah.
So
Hardy's birthday.
Yeah, and Jamie and Jess's wedding. Yeah. That's how I remember it. So yeah, that was a shit time. Real shit time. And yeah, I just remember going back in for the stem cell transplant. They hit me with another round of chemo, but this is a different chemo. This was to attack my immune system, because they have to destroy your immune system so your donor cells
can be accepted.
Don't get too much from your cells, any underlying cells, so it can graft. But yeah, it was just such an exciting moment, but also the unknown, because they tell you what's likely to happen and all of these side effects. And again, I consider myself very, very lucky with the side effects thing. However, the stem cell transplant, I can smile about it now. And I remember them telling me about the side effects, and I was thinking, I got off with the chemo ones. It's not going to impact me. But one thing they did tell me was like, you'll feel fine for a few days, and then you'll feel horrid. And I was like, okay. And they were right. I think it was day 4 after the stem cell transplant, I couldn't get out of bed. I was in that hospital bed. If you said to me, "Bud, do you know what dying feels like?" I think I can tell you, I'm pretty close to knowing what it feels like.
How was that? Because obviously, again, like you have this big win. So I guess mentally you've had a massive boost and you're probably feeling the most positive you felt in months.
Yep.
And then you start the treatment. Now, obviously, you're like excited to start, I guess. I don't know if you can be excited to start that sort of treatment, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you're fucked. You're in bed, like dying, quite literally dying, as you said. How was that like? Were you still somewhat positive, even though like it had hit you like a truck, or
No, at that point I wasn't.
did it like send you back down in the dumps again?
It was awful. Yeah. So that, like I said, I could not get out of my bed. I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't eat my breakfast. Like going to the toilet was a chore. To be fair, I don't even know if I went to the toilet.
Is that sort of what you found hard? The fact that like you just couldn't do anything?
Yeah, I think that was the hardest thing not the hardest thing actually, no, that's a lie. But I've always done as much as I can on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm having it stripped away bit by bit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden well, quite honestly, it looked like strawberry daiquiri they were pumping into me. And I couldn't do anything. I had everything stripped away from me.
What was the hardest thing, do you think?
What was the hardest thing? I think the hardest thing was battling with your own mind. Because although I was very positive, me personally, I always thought I was going to die because how vicious the disease was, how rare it was, the not knowing, not knowing, because the team at the hospital were great, they told me everything, but the team themselves didn't know how to treat what I had because it was so rare. There was no proven method.
Yeah.
So always, it was just battling my own thoughts. Like, today you might die. You might die in a minute.
Did you sort of struggle with the fact that we've known each other a long time, right? We spent a lot of time together, and I think I sort of, for the most part, know how your mind works, and I can imagine you were doing your utmost to show positivity to Leanne and you know, people around you, for them. But then, like you said, like when you're there alone, which obviously you must have spent a lot of time alone, that's when it is really, really hard. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Absolutely, because you've only got your own thoughts. Like when you're on your own, you can watch your computer or play on your phone, but you still know what you're going through. It isn't normal.
Yeah. Was it scary, like you said, knowing that, or even frustrating maybe, knowing that the people that you have to put your trust in to help you, the doctors, nurses, consultants, was it frustrating knowing that they don't even fully know? Or did you sort of still have faith in them as professionals?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't frustrated with them whatsoever. And I think that's because they were very honest from the beginning.
Yeah.
They told me the condition is really rare. Like they have treated it before, but it doesn't work. It does work, like all of these different things. And they were completely transparent. Like there wasn't a question I couldn't ask.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think that's like, I know that probably helped for you.
Yeah.
But I think that would help for me a lot as well, is like, I don't want to say having the confidence, but just being, like, I guess not being embarrassed to keep asking questions. Like, because I can understand it, doctors and nurses, like, treatments that I might have had in the past, obviously very different to this, but they sometimes have a habit of like reading stuff off and speaking to you, but not putting themselves in your shoes and knowing that you don't have a clue what they're talking about. And sometimes they use like medical phrases that people may not understand. I know it helped you, but do you think like you probing and constantly asking questions, do you think that probably put Leanne a little bit at peace as well? And just like, so that you had actually all the information?
Yeah, definitely. But not only was asking questions really important. The material they give you as well. So you are right, they will talk to you in medical language.
Yeah.
But they give you books
Okay.
for you to read, but also just ask a question.
Yeah.
Like, they could hit me with, I don't know, anything. I can't even think of something.
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, I'm quite fluent in medical now.
Yeah.
And just say, what is that?
Yeah.
And I dread to think how many times I asked, what is that?
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it makes sense to those guys, like they're smart.
Yeah,
They've
100%.
studied it.
Yeah.
But to me, well, I know about telecoms,
Yeah.
not blood cancer.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't. At no point did I, and bear in mind the consultants are with you every day, doctors are with you every day, multiple times a day, and nurses never leave you alone.
Yeah.
So there's always an opportunity to ask. And like I said, I didn't ever, not that I can remember, not once was I led in hospital thinking, I don't know what they just told me.
Yeah. I think that's really important for people.
I think it's really, but I also think on the flip side, depending on the sort of person you are, it could actually be quite damaging. Because, let's be frank, right? If they've told you, you're going to die, right? We're going to treat you with this, this, and this, but you're going to die.
Yeah.
It could maybe have the opposite effect.
Yeah.
I think they're very good at reading, let's call it reading the room or understanding the patient. That's what I found anyway. I was never left in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that about reading the room and stuff. Because when I spoke to Georgia the other week, she was saying about how, obviously, you know Ozzy, you've met Ozzy, and I get like to some degree typical hockey player, super dry sense of humor, very dark, self-deprecating, and you know, like when he was first having his treatment, he'd be like taking the piss out of the fact that he's got cancer, and all the doctors and nurses were like, they just didn't get him. And then Georgia was telling me that like towards like the end of I think like his first or second round, the nurses would like start coming in and like cracking jokes almost with him and stuff. But yeah, I thought that's
I had a very good relationship with all the team, but I think it's because I was young. So the disease I had is found in children or old people.
Yeah, it's scary. I sort of so like as you're talking and like we're speaking about it. It's funny. It kind of, in some ways, things are very similar between you and Ozzy, and very similar timeline and stuff as well. It's scary, mate. But yeah, one thing I think we didn't mention sort of at the start, but as you were saying then about, you know, like if doctors and nurses telling you that, you know, like you're going to die, like how negative that impact could have on you. They kind of give you a pretty harsh timeline when you first got that doctor's call, didn't they? And you first went in about how serious it could have been if you wouldn't have gone in.
Yeah. So obviously, well, I don't know, obviously is the right word, but the golden question is, how long did I have to live?
Yeah.
Which I asked. I asked the consultant that told me on the first night, and he said, "Oh, you would have probably had 3 weeks left to live." That was mind-boggling because I hadn't felt unwell.
Yeah. Or not so unwell that you thought you wouldn't be here in 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we worked it out. I probably had the disease for 5 weeks before my diagnosis.
Right.
So because mine was a real well, I had the really slow one, the slow version, let's call it, and I had the really fast version. And the really fast one was really fast.
Yeah.
So within 8 weeks, I would have
been gone, mate.
I would have been gone, yeah.
Mate, don't it? Freaks me out thinking about it. All right, so where were we? Sorry, we proper went off on one there.
Yeah, no. So we got to stem cell transplants. That
Yes.
was 5th of October.
Yeah.
And that was an experience. Like I said, looked like strawberry daiquiri, right? Honest to God, it looked like strawberry daiquiri. Because my donor was from Michigan, they flew it over in this miniature spaceship looking thing
Yeah.
full of dry ice. And yeah, they pumped it in, completely painless. You could feel it going in because it was a little bit cooler than your blood.
Yeah.
And that's when the clock started ticking, really. And Leanne's really, 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 really pregnant at this point.
Yeah.
She was in hospital, actually, the day I had my transplant. Yeah, she was. So that was an experience. Didn't think anything of it. They started to progress. I then got not poorly, but felt like shit. Couldn't do anything for, I think it was about 4 days. And then there's a marker in your blood that they are monitoring to see if your cells are starting to regenerate.
Yeah.
So that was probably around the 10th of October, maybe the 11th of October. My cells started to increase. So this is really good news.
Yeah.
It means...
How was that weight?
Oh, so they take your blood numerous times a day, and if you ask, they'll tell you the results. And of course, I was asking.
Yeah.
I was like, have the cells starting to regenerate? No, not yet. Have the cells started to regenerate? No, not yet. And then when they started to regenerate, we're talking next to nothing,
Yeah.
right? But it's a win.
Yeah.
You're thinking, right, okay.
It's that positive feedback still,
Yeah.
again, isn't it?
But of course, there's a caveat, right? They might be your bad cells,
Yeah, okay.
right? So you still gotta gotta take it with a pinch of salt. However, they're coming back, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
So
something's coming.
Yeah. Good or bad, it is coming. So that was my next little victory. And of course, then I started to feel better. If anybody is against having a blood transfusion, I wouldn't recommend it, because having a blood transfusion is it felt to me like drinking 20 Red Bulls, right? They were pumping me with the stuff. It was great. Numerous treatments still. I was on a 24-hour drip as well for, bloody hell. The rest of the time, actually, I was in hospital. I think I got discharged on the 20th. So I was on this 24-hour drip, never went away. And what that was doing was suppressing my immune system. So
that's so your immune system doesn't start to fight the transplant.
That's right,
again,
yeah. So it's called graft versus host disease. And it is what it says on the tin, right? It's your graft fighting the host.
Yeah.
And it makes you really unwell. They want you to have a little bit, because that means it's doing something.
Right.
But too much of it is actually going to send you to the grave.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're progressing. And I think on the 18th of October, so I'm feeling pretty good at this point, Leanne got admitted into hospital with Theodore on the way. So Leanne was fine. A few minor thing with the pregnancy, but Leanne was admitted, and she couldn't come and see me. I couldn't go and see her. My son is on the way, and I wanted to be there for the birth. So yeah, we get to the 20th of October. I get discharged. I'm at home. My mum's had to move in, look after me like I'm a baby.
Yeah.
I don't think she had to wipe my ass, so that's probably quite nice for her. And yeah, I am literally just laid in bed because I'm so weak. I've got nothing to me, and I'm just trying to rebuild that strength. And the next big thing for me was the morning of the 26th of October. I'm laid in bed. I'd quite literally just woken up, and I get a phone call from Leanne's mum, and she said, "You need to come into hospital. Like, your son's coming." I was like, fuck. I was like, I feel like shit. And so I did. I dragged my ass out of bed. I got in the shower. That was hard, because like, well, you've seen our ensuite is a step, but just doing that was really difficult. And I traveled down to the hospital feeling like shit. Get into the room. Leanne's mum's there. Leanne's there, fucking off her tits. I'm gassing her. And Leanne's mum then leaves, and 40 minutes later, Theodore then comes into the world, which is
Magic,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, you'll
Everything, man.
soon
Yeah,
find out, right? It's the best thing in the world, and it's choking me up a bit. I held him, but then I felt really, really ill. So I think I was in the hospital with Liam for about an hour. So I was, well, no, probably a bit more than that, because I think it was an hour after Theodore was born. So I was able to have a cuddle, and then was like, I need to go home. So I went home, and this was my first day of GVHD. So I was victim of it, I suppose. It was expected. They told me I was going to get it, but I do apologise for the people listening to this, but I then experienced 6 weeks of extreme sickness and diarrhea. Like, I cannot tell you how disgusting it was. Not the mess, because there wasn't any mess, but the feeling of constantly wanting to be sick.
Yeah.
And being sick, along with the feeling of constantly needing to go to the toilet and going to the toilet. It just strips your body. And like I said, 26th was the first day of it. And between that day and then the following 6 weeks, obviously Leanne and Theodore came home, but I lost about 32 kilos.
And like, to put into perspective for anyone how much weight that is, I mean, you try carry around a 32 kilo dumbbell and tell me that it's not a lot of weight, because it most definitely is.
Yeah, like, I consider myself a tall bloke. I was overweight, but I could carry the weight.
It's not like you was overweight.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, I was fit, and yeah, just gone like that. 6 weeks, and I couldn't eat. Anything that went in came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know what was really upsetting for me then was, not only was I battling with my own mind about, quite frank, am I going to wake up tomorrow?
Yeah.
But I couldn't do anything for my son.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick him up. I couldn't do anything. And you would have seen it, all the photos. I'm led down.
Yeah.
And I've got Theodore on me. And that's only because Leanne would pick him up and put him on me.
Yeah.
And that as a man and as a father, is demoralising.
Yeah, man. And like, you know, like, you had fought so hard to get to that point so you can be there with your son. You've been through everything, and then it's like you're tortured that little bit more. Like, you get there, everything that like you set out to achieve, you achieved it, and then it's like, oh, but you still can't have that little bit. Like, we're still going to withhold that bit from you. It's
It sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was awful.
How was sort of Leanne? Like, how did she deal with that bit? Because that must have been hard for her as well. Like, obviously, one, seeing you like it, but then obviously, as you said, like, she's got to deal with a newborn and a terribly sick husband. Yeah.
So, again, hats off to her. Like, I don't know how she managed to do it, because I'm a grown man, right? And looking after a grown man on its own would be difficult.
Yeah.
Let's add a newborn baby into the mix. Plus, then obviously Leanne is recovering, quite frank, from pregnancy.
Yeah, of course,
it's not easy on a woman. I just can't imagine. Like, I truly can't.
Come on, please. Calm down.
Oscar?
Hello, everyone. Me again. Just a quick interruption. When me and Rich were filming this episode, we had just had a lovely barbecue at his house, and both of our dogs decided to get the zoomies. So, this is a small interruption. We'll get right back on track very quickly. Apologies. Thanks so much for listening. I really hope you're enjoying this episode. If you are, could you please take a minute to like this episode, send it to somebody that you think could benefit from listening to it, or just share it with someone because you think it's a really good conversation. All of these things really help us grow the channel, and hopefully together, maybe we can help some people that are dealing with some stuff. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Yeah, I truly can't. It's just, and how do you how do you train for it? Ooh.
Right, sorry everyone. The dogs
Are
had
you
the
going to put that
zoomies.
on the channel?
Well, we might have to leave a bit in because everyone will think we're lying if we cut back and we're cracking up.
Oh.
Wait, where were we?
Right, so I was saying about like Leanne having to look after me
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
plus
yeah,
a newborn. It's just crazy, isn't it? Like, you expect to look after your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, mate, just like the year you had, like, and I mean this respectfully, like, she kind of didn't sign up for that, did she? Do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell. What, 6 months of marriage?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
She stuck up to the vows?
yeah. Yeah, fair play. I mean, you know, I know she obviously, of course, she was going to stand by you and do whatever she could for you, but it's easy to say, innit? And then, you know, when it happens,
Shit, it's a fan.
yeah, man, like just like with anything like this, I kind of relate in some ways, but like when you know what you're into it up your neck, you know that you're in it, but you don't have a timeline, you don't know how long it's going to go on. I guess similar to you, like, I don't know what you think on that, but for me, I think in some ways that's the hardest bit, is like, I know I'm strong enough to get through this, but like, how long can I be this strong?
Yeah. How long can you keep it up for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like when we rode to Paris, right, when we done the bike ride, we knew that like day one we had to ride 100 mile or 110 mile, whatever it was. So when you're 70 mile in and you're hurting, you're like, that's right, because I know,
Yeah, you know where the end is,
right?
yeah.
But anything like this, you have that mindset and you know you're mentally strong and you've been going at it this long, but how long's left? Is it 2 months or 2 years? Is it?
So I'll be completely honest with you. And this isn't a selfish comment, but if it wasn't for the fact that Leanne was pregnant, I think I would have given up. And
I
that's
know why you'd say that. I don't think you would, though, mate.
No, well, yeah, I'd like to think I wouldn't as well, but
I completely understand what you're saying.
my drive was to meet my son,
Yeah, I know.
and yeah, I don't know. I would like to think I wouldn't have given up, but at times it was so hard just to get on with the day, because you know it's just going to be a shit day.
Yeah. I spoke about this. I recorded with Charlie Hacker the other week and had a really good chat, and we were talking about how, you know, some days with whatever it is that you're going through, some days you need to pull like strength from like anger, or in your case maybe like meeting Theodore or having Theodore there, and some days you just need to find the strength to be there, be present with him, or whatever it is. And I think it's funny, like, I'm sure you've done it a lot, mate, but you can sit and reflect, and I'm sure if you really got into the weeds with it, you could think about all the things that, like, you know, like for example, like that day that you're in bed and you get the phone call that Leanne's pregnant, like, you found that strength from somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, I'm sure there was days in hospital, mate, where you just didn't want to open your eyes some morning and just stay asleep or whatever.
Yeah.
And but again, like, you find strength from somewhere. Yeah, I think it's a funny thing how we just are able to pull that strength from somewhere.
I think a sport mentality helps as well.
Definitely, I think it does, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying this. I'd say you're not either. I don't think we're not naturally like aggressive persons or aggressors. Like, I don't particularly get much out of like causing drama or like being involved in drama. Don't get me wrong, like, I'll do it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it's not like my default.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were saying this, how like sport, I think when kids play sport, it's something that transfers into their older life without even realizing that, you know, sometimes you can just flick that switch. And I think we have like multiple switches, and like you can, you know, like I said, like one day you need to flick that angry switch, and sometimes you just need a bit of spunk about you, and you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you just got to like really get fired up some days, and then other days that's definitely not the right thing because you're self-combust and like you know, and you need, for whatever reason, maybe another day you need to, I don't know, pull, I don't know, some happy memories or something.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, it's a funny old thing. So how did things start to go then after that, mate? So obviously at this point, Theodore's born, you're at home,
Yep.
you're there with him and you're getting to enjoy like those really early moments, but not so much practically, more from afar, from led on the sofa.
Yeah, led on the sofa, led in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did things start to turn then? Because from my own recollection, things started to get a little bit positive.
Yeah, they did. So once the graft versus host disease started to settle down,
Yeah.
things started to improve really, really quickly. Like we all know we need to eat and drink, right? And of course my body wasn't getting that during the GVHD episode. And yeah, once that settled down, that was it then. Things started to improve dramatically.
What do you think that was? Because you could start to like eat and get
I could
nutrients
eat,
and
yeah,
all
I
that
could
sort of stuff?
eat, I could drink. The daily routine just became normal again.
Yeah.
And that, you could say like flicking a switch. And it was just great.
Did like throughout all of this,
Yeah.
how quickly did your sleep start to get affected?
Sleep was fucked as soon as I went into hospital.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did it take a long time for your sleep to kind of get back to normal once you got home, or did being at home help?
So I got more sleep when I came home, but my sleep pattern changed because in hospital, you're up early, you're then up all the way through the night, but in my head, I knew I was safe in hospital.
Yeah.
Whereas at home, you're not up early, you're not up all through the night, but you're at home and you're not safe.
Yeah.
So I would struggle to sleep because I was scared to go to sleep because I didn't know I was going to wake up in the morning. So I would, probably the worst thing to bloody watch, right? I was watching Grey's Anatomy when I came home.
Yeah.
Everybody
Sorry, that was my bad.
everybody dies in Grey's Anatomy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it is not a good thing to watch. I wouldn't recommend it if you've had a near-death experience. So I'll be honest, I did have some sleeping tablets prescribed. They weren't illegal. But I didn't have many of them because the doctor, for one, doesn't want to give you loads of them.
Yeah.
But also you need to get your body back into that routine. And if you want, let's fast forward. I did not have a normal sleeping pattern until 1 year post-transplant.
I was just about to ask that. Has it sort of gone back to normal?
Oh yeah, it's normal. It's normal now. But that first year of having that transplant is the highest risk. And it was a nightmare.
Just anxiety through the roof?
Yeah, you're just scared to, well, I was just scared to sleep because I didn't know I was going to wake up in the morning. But as soon as I hit that post year and my consultant says, right, you're past a year, this is the highest chance of relapsing. Obviously I could relapse at any point.
Yeah.
But statistically, that is the highest. Boom. I was like, right, I can sleep now.
Yeah, class.
And yeah, and now I just sleep.
Because obviously I know, like, you know, we spoke a lot, like, sort of when you were going through this, and, you know, there's a lot of days you just didn't want to chat, but,
Yeah,
you know,
I
I just
felt
dropped
I
in,
couldn't,
bro.
yeah.
I just needed to let you know I was there if you needed me, sort of thing. But one thing that I've sort of thought about a lot, and I hadn't actually asked you before, but, you know, when you were in hospital, you'd obviously tell me sort of what was going on and how that day had been. But then when you got home, the conversation sort of changed from, you know, like, how are you doing? And your response, rather than it be like, what have you done that day? It would kind of be more like, yeah, I'm really tired, but I'm really struggling with my mental health. And you know, in all the years that I've known you, like nearly 20 years now, or it must be about like coming up to that, I don't think I'd ever really heard you sort of talk about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
What specifically do you think it was that was different about it? Like that had changed from being in, do you think it literally was as simple as that? Like the fact that when you were in hospital, you felt safe and...
100%. Yeah. So you're wrapped up in a safety blanket in hospital. If you've got a question, you could quite literally just press your bell and a doctor or a nurse will come in and you can ask them the question.
Yeah.
When you're at home, you're recovering, you've got your thoughts, you can try and contact the hospital.
Yeah.
But your consultant's busy.
Yeah.
Like they're treating loads of other people. And
like you were a few months ago.
Yeah, like, and you can't just, well, I suppose you could. I don't know if you could actually just ring the ward up and ask a question. I don't know if you could, but I'd had my safety blanket taken away. And of course, if I get sick in a hospital, they'll start to treat me immediately. Whereas if I get sick at home, I'll probably have to get an ambulance. And I've needed a couple of ambulances and they've been brilliant, but that might not necessarily always be the case.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just, I suppose if I was medically trained, it might be different.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. So if it goes wrong at home, it's just...
Do you think then you were probably partly worried as well? Like if anything goes wrong, it's like, again, like it's Leanne
100%.
that's there, that's going to have to deal with it.
100%.
When you were sort of really struggling through that like, sort of earlier period at home, were you sort of being open with Leanne about that or not? Were you still trying to like kind of...
100%. No.
Her?
Everything.
Okay, good.
Everything.
Did that help you think?
Yeah, definitely. Because, well, I'm not a doom and gloom person.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have hid that.
Yeah.
Because I just hated everything about the day.
Yeah.
Because it was just hard.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. How was it dealing with... One thing I spoke to Georgia about, and I refer back to Georgia just because, you know, like her and Ozzy's situation wasn't the same, but it's fairly similar. How was it dealing with, you know, you had all those people turn up to the charity game to support you and all that sort of stuff, and I know everybody just cares about you, but how was that? Because it's a lot, isn't it? Constantly having people, you know, you're trying to deal with your own thoughts and stuff, and then people are like texting you or ringing you or whatever. How was that? Like, did that affect you, or was it all right?
It was great whilst I was in hospital. When I came out of hospital, I started to ignore people because it was just too much.
Yeah.
And it's lovely that people are interested, but you're saying the same thing over and over again.
Tiring, isn't it?
And that's why I then moved to Facebook and given a weekly update.
Yeah.
And that dropped the taxes because people could go onto Facebook, they could read what's happened, what's going on, what's next.
Yeah.
That's it. And it did become too much.
Yeah. It's a funny one, you know, like we could very easily sit here and not talk about that. And I don't want to discourage anyone that if they know somebody, I don't want to discourage people from checking in on people they care about. That's not why I bring this up. But I think sometimes from my own experience, people care about you so much that they are just, I don't know if this sounds bad, but it's almost like they're thinking about their own, they want to be, their own thoughts and feelings to be put at ease knowing that you're okay.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which, you know, like I understand, like they don't want to be full of that like dread and worry for you. But I think people, it's very easy to forget that, you know, like a lot of those people texting you probably went to your charity game.
Yeah.
They can see literally how many thousands of people are there supporting you. Imagine having like all of those people, you know, like constantly messaging you, reaching out, like it's tiring, it's hard work. And yeah, it gets a lot for the person dealing with it. So basically, I guess the reason I bring this up is because, again, anyone watching, if you know somebody that's going through whatever they're going through, please definitely check in, but be a little bit considerate that they've probably had this message hundreds of multiple times,
Yep.
and it can be a lot for people. So don't feel discouraged if they don't reply to you.
Well,
I guess,
that's what I was
basically.
going to say. Like, don't take offence if you don't get a response.
Yeah.
And it's not because you've done something wrong. It's just because it's exhausting.
Yeah. And I think the fact that like people reaching out is still lovely for you, and it still like reminds you that people care. But yeah, it's just that caveat that, but if you don't get a response, don't take it personally, I guess. I just think it's an important thing to sort of highlight. So yeah, and then, you know, like things are going well, and stem cell transplants working.
Yep.
Theodore's growing, Leanne's recovering.
Yep.
You're starting to physically feel a bit better.
Yep.
And you get you get over that 1 year mark, you said. Now what, man? What's going on?
Wow. So between obviously stem cell and current date, I've still had treatment in the form of IT chemo,
Yeah.
and I have one more left.
Okay.
So I have one more bone marrow biopsy,
Yeah.
one more IT chemo, and then I'm done.
When's that?
It's not booked yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so, but it will be in October.
Okay. So yeah, not
Some
long,
point
man.
in October.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but all being well, then sort of do you know what would be after that, or no?
No. So I asked the consultant when I was last there. I said, "What's the plan?" And they said, "We don't know." And it's not because they don't care. It's because they want to keep an eye on me because it's so rare. Is not well. I suppose it is rare. They want to be.
It's
It's better
uncommon.
to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to go to, because I sit under two consultants, so it'll probably go to 6-month visits. But because I'm under 2, it means every 3 months
Okay.
I'm in and they alternate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the next step. So
How you feeling? We're sat here grinning,
I
but how
can't
you
fucking
feeling?
wait, man.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Right. I don't want to scare anybody, but if you ever need a bone marrow biopsy, have gas and air.
Yeah.
All right, they suck. They really hurt. So I'll be good to part that. IT chemo, they don't hurt.
If that's it, as daft as it sounds, is that like the one thing that you can't wait to just never do again?
Oh,
is the
mate,
bone marrow?
100%, 100%. They absolutely suck. I think I've ran out of bone marrow for them to take. To be honest, I've had so many done, but yeah, it'd be nice to part those bloody things.
Mate, nice. Mate, and it'd be good to like sort of transition this and talk a little bit about just all the positives that have come out of this. I mean, I know that sounds really weird to talk about, but like, you know, life was looking so positive, and you know, as we've spoke about this entire time, you got dealt with cards that you definitely didn't foresee coming, and you know, like you've all as a family been amazing and got through it, and you know, you've inspired me, and I'm sure you've inspired a lot of people close to you, just from how you've handled it all. I don't know if it's maybe a bit too early, because I mean, you still are waiting for a few little bits, but is there anything that like it's really changed, like how you look at life now? Anything that you just kind of want to maybe do differently in the future that you didn't maybe took for granted?
100%, and it's really, really cliche, right?
Nah, go for it.
First of all, is treat every day as it's your last.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't know what's going to happen. In the space of 8 hours, I had my life turned upside down. Right. So if you, obviously, other than being ran over and killed immediately or doing something stupid, it can really change that quickly. So definitely enjoy each day, and just don't worry about stupid things. So one thing that like I am really keen on now is say we need something, right? No, say we want something. not so much we need, but we want something, we would say, oh, maybe get it next month or get it in 3 months' time. Just get it, all right? You want it, go and enjoy it. So just get it. Also, when it comes to things like, some things used to really bother me, stupid little things, like something stupid might have happened in work or something stupid might have happened in sport, and it would really piss me off.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm just like, do you know what? I'm going to go to bed.
Whatever, yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day. Forget about it.
Yeah.
It is really, really cliche, but that is how I now look at things. Quite frankly, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I will just do what I want.
Just do what makes you happy,
Yeah,
bro, yeah.
yeah. If I want it, like, well, you've witnessed it. I've gone and bought a drone.
Yeah.
I don't need a drone.
For anyone watching this as well, I had to watch it for nearly an hour, try and set this drone up on chat, live chat, kicking and screaming. So when he says that things don't bother him, he's lying, right? But turns out he was trying to connect the controller to the wrong model drone.
Correct.
So now that we've fixed that and we've had a test flight and it works,
Yep. Yeah.
other than that, little things don't bother you anymore.
Yeah, well, it won't bother me. It should have worked. Why does it have to give me so many options? But yeah, so just fucking enjoy it. Like that's all I can really. And like, obviously we've got Theodore now, and he's just great.
Oh, mate, I love him.
He's like, there's nothing really. Oh, it's just.
I know it. Look, I know we've still got a bit of treatment to do and stuff, but life's good, right?
Absolutely. Like, would I change anything with my life now? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Would I change going through what I've gone through? Absolutely, of course. But it has opened my eyes.
Yeah.
I look at things differently. I enjoy things more now. Like silly things like going out in the car to do something that I would not have done before because I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
We do those things now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it really does open your eyes.
Yeah. Mate, again, it's funny, like, I kind of get it. I think, like my the way I would explain it, and, like, my example of it is like, if I would have got a flat tyre on my car driving down the motorway, worst day of the year. Do you know what I mean? What a nightmare, right? Anyone who's had a flat tyre on a motorway, it's a nightmare. But I can hand on heart now sit here and just say, like, well, it's not that deep. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, there's just quite literally bigger things to worry about. And there's people out there worrying about much bigger things than this. I'll just get a new tyre.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, one thing I want to ask you is, and I don't know, by all means, if you don't know, don't answer it, but do you think, on reflection, that if this wouldn't have happened to you, and, you know, you would have got married and Leanne got pregnant and the timeline would have just gone picture perfect, happy ever after, do you think you'd be enjoying these moments as much with Theodore and Leanne? And
well, what the camera can't see is the playground behind us.
Yeah, we'll drop that in. I'll get a shot of that.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it would have been more of a routine.
Okay.
You know, than what it is now. Like, now, it is enjoyable and you take lots of photos, you get more involved. Whereas I think if I hadn't gone through what I've been through, it would have just been, right, we're going out to play in the garden again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would have been, yeah, I do enjoy things more now, like this.
So I think, you mean before it maybe would have just been like a have to do, whereas now it's like a want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because toddlers don't stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been in that paddling pool on that bloody bouncy castle with slide all afternoon, mate.
Yeah. So
I've cut your grass about 6 times.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think you've got that right.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Again, it's so funny, mate. I think, like, of course I didn't want you to go through this, of course not. But, like, in the weirdest possible way, like, I'm really happy that you've been able to look at it in the way that you're looking at it. and be able to like pull these positives out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. I think, you know, and again, I'm not judging people. People take whatever they want to take from their life experiences, but you know, life's hard. It's hard enough as it is, and then things like this get thrown in the mix, and it just really makes you think that like you could have quite easily, in some regards, give up.
Yep.
And maybe you still would have got through it, but how would you have been thinking now, sort of thing? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think, I guess that's, again, like why I want to do this, man, like, and why I have been doing this. Like, it's hard having these conversations, right? And like talking about it, and it's hard for me to sit here and listen back to this from you, because obviously, like, you're like a brother to me, right? So like, at the time when obviously that next day when you rang me and said like, you know, like, Gals, I got cancer and whatever, like, I was petrified for you, man. And I felt as if like I wanted to help you and wanted to help somehow, but obviously I can't. It's just out of my control. Like, there's nothing I can do. So I felt sort of helpless, and obviously, like, again, like, there's still nothing really I can do. Like, even now, like, there's nothing I can do, but I have been able to sit down and like have this chat with you, and like you've been willing to film it, and like maybe us talking about this, hopefully somebody watches this and like they've been through something similar, or they could have just got diagnosed, or maybe they're at the same stage that you are now, but they're thinking completely differently. Do you know what I mean? And I think, as we said at the start of this, mate, like, there's no rule book for any of this. Nobody learns or gets taught how to deal with it.
Nope.
Everyone experiences so different, but one thing that I am just really noticing from every single person that I've spoke to, regardless of what it is that they've been dealing with, is the fact that every single person wanted to believe that their life would improve, and they just found a way for it to happen. And like in your instance, a lot of your treatment was out of your control. You just had to trust the doctors and the nurses, but you were in control of, like you said, like your mind and like your mental health, and you were in control of the things that you use to like keep pushing you forward and keep like believing, I suppose. And yeah, I guess you pull that from wherever you pull it from. And like for me, like, you know, I was listening to like this podcast, like reading books, and like, again, like, I was listening to like stories sort of similar to this, or in some instances like very, very different. But like, again, like the message always was like, it was really, really hard, but everyone kept going. And then off the back of it, like they were able to reflect, and like life was better. And like, it sounds mad, doesn't it, to say like
You have to go through something so bad.
Yeah. But
make
yeah,
an
it's
improvement.
funny, like, again, like through sport, like we use sport as an analogy all the time, but I always said, like, my whole time playing hockey, the regular season was boring. For the most part, I hated it. Right? It's just long, innit? It's a grind, right? But like, mate, I'd go through that 9 months of hell every year just to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the playoffs was the absolute puppies. Loved it, right? If I could like play playoff hockey every day, like, I'd start playing tomorrow. And I guess like you kind of had your regular season, and like you're like slowly approaching the playoffs, right? And like it's all paying off now, and it's beautiful to see, mate. It's amazing. Is there anything else that we sort of didn't touch on that you think is important to say or mention?
The biggest thing for me was talking. That's what helped me. Just talking about it. Don't bundle it up.
Just talking. When you say talking, though, like just talking about just all of it, just
All
like,
of it, yeah, everything. So just telling your story and your journey, and because it's a huge learning curve unless you're medically trained. It's a shock to see how many people are actually interested, like truly interested.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And you obviously you've got me on social media, but the amount of people that would comment saying like, this is such a good description, like,
Mate, yeah.
I'm fully on board, like I fully understand. That would be the only thing I would say, is just talk about it. And I know obviously the purpose is a podcast and this isn't scripted. You're not asking me to say that.
No, mate, no.
That was my coping mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, look, mate, and again, like, I think it's funny, right? The pendulum swung a little bit. We grew up, and I'm generalizing this massively, but we grew up, our parents' generation, for the most part, aren't the best at chatting about stuff. Like, saying it bluntly, right? They're just not. And I think we've grew up sort of carrying a lot of that. I think me talking personally about myself, I've always felt comfortable, like, you know, like me and you were chatting on the phone, and like, if I'm having a bad day, I'll ring you and be like, bud, like, and you know, I'd just bank some shit off you, and some days you'd be like, Gal, shut up, mate. And like, you give me that kick up the ass, and then like other days you just sit there and listen to me, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think like we're very lucky that like we've, you know, not just ourselves, like together, but like we've got multiple people that like we could talk to in our lives like that, which is amazing. And there's a lot of people that maybe don't have that, and I never really realised the sort of power of talking about stuff, because for me, during the whole time that obviously you were dealing with this, like I had some of my own stuff going on, and I couldn't really talk to you because obviously, not that I was, like, I'm sure you would have listened to me, but you were just far too unwell, right?
Yeah,
and I couldn't have put my own worries on you. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't talk to you, and you know, like, I could maybe chat to Jeff, but as we all know, he ain't no bloke to chat to about your emotions, right? So, bearing in mind, he's getting a little bit better since I've been doing this and whatever. He's starting to open up a little bit, but you know, he's not my guy for that. So then I then started to really understand how important it is to talk to people and just talk about whatever you're dealing with. And Hardy, God love her, same as obviously you spoke to Leanne, as much as it definitely helps to talk to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or husband or whatever. But I think, like, for me, a man talking to a man is different to like a man talking to a woman.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. We're different creatures, right? Like, we see things differently. And then, yeah, you know, like for me, like obviously I went to Beyond the Chair, which Reese and George started. And mate, like, I seen it in real life, like HD in front of me. I had my glasses on and everything. I seen it, the power of it, like people talking about it in front of me. And yeah, it's powerful, mate. And like, I amplify that so much. Like, whoever you are, if you're watching this, if you are really dealing with something and struggling with something and you haven't spoke about it, somebody does want to listen. Go and speak to them.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a friend. It doesn't have to be a family member. It could be your manager at work. It could be whoever. The bloke down the shop. I'm sure he'll listen to you.
Yep.
Like, or there's all the support groups or whatever. Like, go and speak to someone. But mate, I appreciate you doing this.
No worries.
This is good, man. I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess. Obviously, you're still doing the Facebook updates and whatever.
So I'm gonna do a video update.
Yes, mate.
After my last one.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, that'll be putting that little chapter to bed.
Yeah, good, man. Mate, I'm excited. I'm excited to, yeah, just see how your life unfolds now. And, you know, again, it's maybe a bit cringy, and you'll probably smack me in the bollocks for this after, but like, I'm genuinely excited to see, you know, we don't know, right? I don't know how you would have lived the rest of your life if this wouldn't have happened. But I think, as we've already spoke a little bit about, like, you are doing things differently, and like your energy's different, and I don't know, you seem, I don't know, happier, weirdly. I don't know. Like, it's like you're able to like enjoy the fruits of life more.
Yeah. I do.
Right?
I know what you mean.
And yeah, I don't know, I'm good. It's good. I'm just excited to see it. So yeah.
Not long, mate.
Yeah.
Not long.
Yeah. Mate, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool.
Should we have a beer?
Yeah, that's
So-
it.